2d10, 3d10, 2d10, 1d10, 1d10, 1d, 2d10, 2d10, 4d10, 2d10, 6d10, 1d10, 1, 2d, 2d10, 2d, 1, 1d, 2, 4d10, 2d10, 1d10, 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 2d10, 8d10, 2d, 2d10, 1, 1d10, 2, 1d10, 1d10, 1d, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 1d10, 1, 2d10, 1d, 2d10, 2d, 2d10, 1d10, 1d, 1d, 1d10, 1d, 1d, 2d10, 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 1d10, 1, 2, 2d10, 1d10, 6, 8, 1d10, 1, 1, 2, 2d10, 1d, 2d, 2d10, 1d10, 2d, 2d10, 2d10, 2d, 2d10, 1, 1, 2d, 2, 12d, 13d, 1, 1, 1d10, 6, 1, 1, 150, 2d10, 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 2, 2, 2d10, 2d, 60, 40, 5, 4, 5, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 1, 2d10, 5d10, 1d10, 3d10, 2d10, 2, 1, 1d10, 1d10, 1, 1d10, 2d10, 2, 1, 2d, 2, 1d10, 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 1, 2d10, 1, 2, 1d, 1d10, 2d, 1d10, 1, 2, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 2, 2, 2d10, 2, 2d10, 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 2d, 2, 9d10, 9, 9d10, 2d10, 2d10, 2d, 1d10, 1d10, 2d10, 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 1, 9d10, 2d10, 4d10, 5d10, 9d10, 3d10, 2d, 1d10, 1d10, 2, 2, 1, 1, 9d10, 1d10, 2, 5d10, 2d10, 6d10, 1d10, 1, 9, 1d, 2d10, 2d, 3d10, 1d, 2d10, 2d, 1d10, 2d10, 2d10, 8d10, 1, 2, 5d10, 1d, 1, 1d10, 2d10, 5d10, 2d10, 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 1d, 2d10, 3d10, 1d10, 1d10, 3d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, 3d, 2, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, 8d10, 8d10, 3d10, 2d, 1d10, 2d10, 9, 3, 2, 2, 1d, 2d10, 1d10, 2d, 1, 1d10, 2d10, 2d, 1, 1d, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 2d, 2d10, 2d10, 2, 1d10, 2, 2d10, 7, 4d10, 2d10, 6d10, 1, 1d10, 1d10, 8d10, 7d10, 8, 1d10, 1d10, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 1d10, 7d10, Renacervato 1d2, 6d10, 6, 5, 1, 2d10, 2d10, 2d, 1d10, 6d10, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 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 1d10, 2d10, 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 6, 1d10, 1d, 2d10, 2d, 1d, tele di posa, apesvato 4d10, apesvato 4d10, tele di configura du gioco, 1d10, 30, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 2d10, 1d10, 9, 2, 7d10, 2d10, 6d, 1d, 2d, 5, 1, 1d, 6d10, 2d, 1d10, 1d10, 8d10, 1d10, 1d10, 1d, 1, 1d, 1d10, 1d, 1, 1d10, 2, 1, 2d, 1d, 1, 2d10, 8d10, 1, 2d10, 9d10, 2d10, 3d10, 2d10, 1d10, 2, 1d10, 2d10, 2, 8d, 1d10, 1d10, 1d, 1d10, 2d10, 1, 2d10, 1d10, 1d10, 2, 1, 2d, 1d10, 1d10, 2d, 1, 2d, 3, 1d10, 2, 1, 2, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 2d10, 1, 2, 1d, 2, 1, 1d, 1d10, 2d10, 2, 2d, 1, 1d, 1, 1, 2d10, 1d10, 2, 2, 1d10, 1d10. 2d10, 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 1d10, 1d10, 2d, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, 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 1d, 2d10, 3d, 2d, 3, 1d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, 9d10, 5d10, 2d10, 1d, 2d10, 1d10, 2d7, 5d10, 1d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1, 2d, 2, 2d10, 3d, 2, 2d10, 2, 1, 2d, 2d10, 1d10, 9d10, 2d10, 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 1d10, 1d, 1d10, 1d, 1, 2d10, 1d10, 2, 2d10, 3, 2, 1, 2d10, 2d10, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1d10, Tele di posa, common rio svato 5d10, menu, tele di gioco, Montesquieu, pressioni bato elan per marcare scurd. Conclude, tele di gioco, Montesquieu, crier nova tele. 1D3 International Space Station Modello 10.4 Vato. Iniciando Modello di Mondo. Iniciando Modello di Mondo. Iniciando Modello di Mondo. Crier Nova Tele. Iniciando Modello di Mondo. 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 Crier Nova Tele. (2D3 Marine, Tele di Gioco, Montesquieu, Pressioni Bato L. Crier Nova, Crier Tele di Configure, Caricando Pacots di Recurso, M. Durando Mondo. Concludu, Pressioni ti return, u control semfio bato para direito para biro chat. 2D10, 8D10, 6, 1D10, 2D10, 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 30, 4, 13d, 12d, 123, 4d10, 2d10, 2, 10d, 9, 2, 1d10, 6d10, 2, 2, 3d10, 9d10, 3, 1, 2d, 2, 2, 1d10, 1d, 7, 7d10, 4d10, 8d10, 1, 2d, 1d10, 2, 2d10, 2d10, 11d, 4, 50, 12, 29, 1, 1d10, 1d, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1d, 2d10, 1d, 8d10, 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 9d10, 2, 1d10, 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 9d, 9d10, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1d, 1, 2, 2d10, 1d, 7, 7, 70, 48, 6, 5, 6, 78, 2, 1d, 2d10, 2, 2, 1, 1d10, 2d, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 11d, 1d10, 7, 6, 5, 13d, 81, 23, 3, 6d, 81, 7d, 81, 6d, 81, 5, 6, 6, 6d10, 6d10, 11d, 20, 32d, 236, 33d, 236, 30d, 236, 31, 36, 20, 31d, 236, 47, 6, 6d10, 1d10, 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 1, 1d10, 1, 11, 4, 20, 5, alternate. 40, 200, 200, 100, 1, 200, 11, 6, 60D, 61, 40, 90, 200, 1D10, 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 1D, 2, 1D, 2D10, 2D10, 2, 1, 1D10, 1D10, 2D, 2D10, 1, 1, 4D10, 4D, 4D, 2D10, 2D, 2D, 1D10, 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 2D, 3D, 2D, 2D, 1D10, 1, 9D10, 1, 2D10, 2D10, 2D, 1D10, 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 1, 1D10, 2D10, 2D10, 1D10, 1D10, 2D10, 2D10, 1D10, 1, 2D10, 2D10, 5D10, 2, 1D10, 2D10, 5091, 5091, 7D10, 1D10, 2, 11D2, 2, 7, 68D8, 7, 60, 10, 11, 2D10, 2D10, 1D10, 2D10, 6, 6, 5, 4D, 3D10, 1D10, 6D, 2D, 1, 1D, 2D, 1, 1D10, 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 1D, 1, 2D10, 3D, 11, 20, 5D, 7, 2D, 11D, 11, 17, K, 6, 40, 4, 31, 95, 2D, 70, 80, 7, 2D, 11, 36D, 20, 8, 1, 2D10, 1D10, 2D10, 2D10, 1D10, 1D, 1D, 2D, 1D, 1D10, 9D, 8D10, 1D10, 3D, 3D, 4, 6, 6D10, 8, 3D, 2D, 1, 3D10, 1D, 2D10, 2D10, 1D, 6, 2D10, 1, 1, 1, 1D, 1, 1D10, 2D, 1D10, 1, 2D, 2D, 9D10, 1D10, 7, 3D10, 2D10, 2d10, 1d10, 2d10, 1, 2d10. 9, 2d10, 2d10, 3d, 40, 11, 2d, 6, 5d, 1d, 1d10, 6d10, 1d10, tele di posa, a PS4 40, 1d10,